Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my friends on the Earthship. Welcome to my Sunday portal, a little time I reserve on some Sundays, not every Sunday it seems, for the discussion of being the alchemist of your own life. Welcome. I'm Cindy Carter. I'm an intuitive, an artist, an energy healer, and a spirit consultant. This series of Alchemy podcasts each Sunday is a place for you to come if you're interested in self-awareness and self-responsibility beyond all the New Age concepts and all the misdirections. This is concise, clear information to build on each week in everyday language to gain a new understanding for yourself and for your ability to be the Master Alchemist of your own life. So last podcast, we talked about trauma release without the Rolodex. It was kind of a fun look at all the stacked up, lined up, traumatic lives that you've led, and how the Rolodex of these lives plays out in your cellular body. I mean, it is a lot to deal with. All the lazy, half-assed, half-done lives where we didn't get the lesson or the lesson was already learned, but we went through the false reincarnation cycle to have to do it all again? Well, how about allowing all the consciousness of the trauma within you to be revalued, to be reweighed in your heart so that it's not the trauma you thought it was? That one might be a good podcast to revisit, as there are 62 other versions of podcasts that I've put out there. You might want to revisit that last one called Trauma Release Without the Rolodex. But today, this podcast, we're going to take a natural look at the need to dismount from the merry-go-round. Disconnect, disengage. This could mean so many things to so many people. Like, what merry-go-round are you reliving right now? Are you reliving the abuse from a friend or a spouse? Or are you reliving constant doubt, unrelenting fear? Are you reliving a failed idea of yourself? Are you reliving complete unhappiness? I mean, we don't always even know that we are even on a merry-go-round of unhappiness or control or manipulation or doubt. That we need to get off of this thing. So you might want to ask yourself sometimes, who am I outside of this merry-go-round? You know, merry-go-rounds without the forced color and shape and size and meaning. Who are you at the core of your being? What I'm saying is, in a roundabout way, while you ride this merry-go-round of life, which, you know, the merry-go-round to me represents the prescription of society to be and to act and conform to certain standards. It's like the narrative that you're living. It's kind of a bullshit narrative, but that's what the merry-go-round is to me. Narrated life. So little did this humanity know that for thousands of years we would be cajoled or forced or held back from our divinity. This is at the core of the merry-go-round and why we have it. Why it's all colorful, fruity, filled, and colorful. Because alien forces upon this universe have seen to that, and that stuff is almost over for all of us. Yes, it's been played out as an agreement, and it's now to be over. I tell you this because I feel it deep inside me as a knowing, as a truth of my being. But you need to find your own truth. We all have a truth, an individualized truth, because it's based in perception. My perception sees that this narrative is ending. So I'm here kind of like an ascension expert, a specialist who came to Earth, 2007 with a new brain. Now I'm going to bring in new consciousness for myself. And I'm learning how I got to dismount the matrix, disengaging from the matrix, from the repeat patterns It's really kind of essential right now. Because I'm here to tell you, once you learn that the merry-go-round is a very ugly illusion that I participated in, not that it was wrong, but that it's a reality of truth that you now get to alter it as the alchemist. That's what these podcasts are about anyway. Teaching you how to see a bigger picture. This is based in quantum physics. I try and use everyday language to describe these intense physics, mechanics, and cellular ascension. But I have to use analogies and symbols to describe the macro stuff. But you do need to disengage. Maybe you want to disengage from the harmful narrative that is your life, so you can see clearly. But you do have to step out, to dismount, to get off that horse, to truly see what is the circus around you. So look at your life. Ask yourself, how often do you even look at your life? Because you are on the merry-go-round. It's kind of blurring. It's kind of dizzying. It's hard to see. I think we're experiencing this right now. Are you just existing? Are you going through the motions of an unfulfilled life with no happiness in sight? I do talk to people that are living that. I'm sure you do too. Some of you might be living that yourself. I know I was, my former life, before I woke up to this new understanding. But I feel like I'm here to stand on the top of the carnival tent and scream, "Hey! There's a new game in town. It's called sovereignty, independence." It requires no arcade games that are stacked against you that you can't win anyway. You don't have to feel the false pride when you have spent $50 on a $4 toy to win that at the carnival. You don't have to marvel at the freak show of people that are different than you in body. You see, compartmentalization of your view of life is very, very strong right now. Do you have the guts to try and see from a sovereign, independent view of yourself and the lives of your past, present, and future that got you here to this narrative? Or are you on the repeat cycle? When people say, "Hey, how are you?" And they say, "Oh, same old, same old." Well, I see the merry-go-round and their hand firmly holding themselves in place on that horse. They're the only ones holding themselves on that horse. Because merry-go-rounds you can just get off of. They go that slow. But you can't seem to even detach from the idea of it, much less do something about it. So here's the idea. Dismount, please. Detach, please, because this is a repeat cycle you're living. It's the same scenery. The never-ending blur of faces and colors and overstimulation from the matrix. Yes, it is overstimulus. There's an agenda to overstimulating the mind and body and soul. When your media is controlled, when society is a script, when nothing makes sense anymore, you can't even find your way back to you. This is a sly way of disconnecting humanity from the roots of their existence, which is universal God source, Christ consciousness within each cell. Not the overstimulation of digital bombardment of Wi-Fi capable 5G, of scrambling your cells, smart meters and every kind of thing that we don't need. Dismount, disengage, detach, step away. It kind of makes me want to go hide in nature sometimes. Like, finally, the peace I seek, the peace I feel, the peace I know is me, is deep inside me. It matches the energy of nature, does it not? I spent several years in the woods learning with shaman and time travelers how to communicate with all sentient life, the consciousness of trees and beings and animals, and nature and flora. Nature is us. The resonance, the vibration, and the frequency of the calming of nature is actually part of us. We actually can access this natural part of us by accessing the God source within us. That takes stepping away, viewing yourself with kindness, compassion, and then being the alchemist to change that. Change back to the natural portion of you. Remember the natural portion of you. So you might want to dismount from the circus, from the thoughts, the ideas, the beliefs that you have, that you are actually on the merry-go-round. I mean, you could say, whoa, Nellie, stop this horse right now. Hey, carnival dude, can you stop this ride because it really makes me dizzy and it's the same over and over and over. I've lived it before. Do I have to live it again? Do I really? Because the merry-go-round represents the matrix, where the stories right now, and never really, they're not adding up. The narratives are just plain ridiculous. Where drag queens are reading to our children, where kids are learning Sharia law in our public school systems. Sharia law that has doctrines of extreme human torture, all in the name of their false God, taught to our children. I'm not making this up. We're pumping babies with required toxins to produce a disconnected society that feeds on itself. That is the merry-go-round. And if you're not seeing the atrocities and you're playing into the script of the atrocities, you might want to step back. Because this script is falling apart and you could fall with it. This is about independence. Because this cute, colorful ride was designed by top artisans, sculptors, mechanics that came together to design a ride. A manipulating ride for humanity, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker. We went all in. Oh, something so cute, colorful, and distracting. How could it be harmful to me? The Matrix is taking away our wholeness. It's compartmentalizing you. The riders, on the merry-go-round are being brought far away from their cosmic love. The peaceful life, the harmonic creative expressions, the independent thoughts, the wholesome ideas of life. The script and the design of this ride, and I'd say it big, ride, is desensitizing the participants so they can get disconnected from their God source of practical awareness of who they are. This is where we have confused our children and our humanity about their God particle, confusing them about who they are. What a brilliant ride. What a brilliant manipulation that can now be dismantled by your awareness. Get off this ride if you choose, unless you like it like this. Stay in your illusion, and that's just fine. This is a good lesson right here, though, on how to deal with somebody that refuses to get off the merry-go-round of abuse and manipulation. Let them stay. Yes, this is compassion. You see, in compassionate understandings of a soul's choice, we humans are not allowed to make choices for other souls. That's called manipulation. Of course, many of you may say, but don't we all want peace and love and joy and freedom? Well, no. There are many souls that embodied on this earth that have zero intention of that in this lifetime. In the lifespan of humanness in a body, consciousness in a body, how many lifetimes does it take to wake up? It might take a few. It's your choice, but we have been manipulated through reincarnation cycles, so now we get to wake up out of it. It might take a few lifetimes. Be kind to the others. To see the picture, the whole picture, well, it might take several lifetimes. So why are you the authority of another person's truth? We can't be. So in compassion, we have to allow others to ride the merry-go-round if they choose. But if someone is unaware and is deep down asking for awareness, deep down asking to see through the veil of carnival of illusions, well, then that soul will access this. You may be helpful in this for another person, but if it's not their choice, it's not your choice then. Manipulation can come in kind packages. Be careful here. Don't drag your friends off the ride. Don't stand with a placard to tell them to get off the ride now. Don't ridicule their choice of having a blurring ride of their choice so they don't see the current reality outside of the merry-go-round. It's their spiritual work, not yours. It all happens in due time. It's perfect timing. This is allowing the truths of others. There is a podcast on that one. Be kind to others and their choices. It's called Allowing the Truths of Others. Speaking your truth. But discernment and perspective are really needed here. Like, let's step back and look at things really objectively. If we slow down the life so you can actually step away and view what it is you're living, this is so important. Slow your life down. Know what's important to look at. So in stepping off of the canned existence that you find yourself in, it's now for you to give yourself the permission to be your own person. A kinder, more loving version of yourself that sees the life of yourself and your loved ones a lot more clearly. So in seeing your life clearly, this is where you may get into judgment of what you're seeing or compartmentalizing what you're seeing. Well, this is you trying to recreate a merry-go-round so it all makes sense. Sorry, this is the mystery of the universal life force. Just live it, proliferate it, move it. Nothing makes sense right now. That's the point. There is only sense. And you have so many senses, new ones, untapped ones, these intuitive hits that your gut heart understands. They're brain frequencies that ride around in your gut that are highly attached to your heart space. I'm saying the science in really easy terms here. Learning to operate your life from the heart, not from your mind, is exactly what happens when you step off the merry-go-round. So please don't recreate a safe space of blurring choices for yourself. After you get off the merry-go-round, don't recreate it. Clear understandings, that you are watching a 1,000,000-act play that never ends. Really, the quantum possibilities and quantum timelines will continue to flux, and they're all mutable by consciousness of the human, so it's always going to change. Our past will become new and our futures will become old. Yes, I just said that. Our past will become new and our futures will become old. Seriously, you have to be clear and have discernment of a truth. Only the truth of your heart, outside the merry-go-round of narrative, hierarchy, and spiritual disillusionment. Dismounting from the narrative is freeing. It can be joyful. Yeah, even when the narrative and the minions of the narrative are pumping out apocalypse codes of nonsense to keep you on the merry-go-round. There are spiritual New Age merry-go-rounds going on everywhere. I happen to watch these manipulators doing their spiritual work. I have to do damage control often for those that get caught up in the false spiritual narratives and journeys and doctrines and compartments, all brought by false belief systems. The people I assist are often disempowered feeling unworthy, not good enough, and looking for someone to tell them what to do because they found no source within them. I then have to become the cheerleader of the God particle inside of them. So dismount from the controlling narratives if you find yourself mired within one or many of them. Dismount to find your freedom. Get out of the carnival altogether. Be in this world, but not of this carnival. We are the creators of a new life on earth. You are the activator of the God particle inside of you. When you feel worthy, when you remember that you are love, when you remember that you are also hate, and you transmute this into some type of peace and harmony and freedom and higher thought and higher vibration to the existing narrative, well, this is what diffuses all the bullshit. I just told you the key to change the world. Seriously, this is how quantum mechanics and cellular proliferation works. Add the good stuff, think the good stuff. It's so simple. You have to transmute the darkness, not deny it. When you step off of this multicolored horse of disillusionment and let go of the reins and start free-flowing with a full heart space back to some kind of sense-filled life that has some peace and love and harmony in it, you'll be doing the work of an alchemist. It's all doable as an alchemist. It's all doable as a lover of life. It's all doable when you dismount from the merry-go-round. Getting back to simple life is what I feel is really needed. So each day, some type of meditation can really help you. I know some of you are going, no way. I used to do it. I don't do it now. Listen, the word meditation could be an affirmation if you want. Call it an activation if you want. I don't really care. Just make a quiet space for you each day. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. Guided meditations or walking meditations. My favorite is washing dishes meditation. Or sitting on a yoga ball and breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth meditation. Literally, bringing life force to the cells. So I have a meditation/activation available on my website. It's called the Template of Grace. It's 11 days to allow, accept, and activate grace. We could all use a little bit of grace right now. You can find it on my website for $33 US. It's a powerful template to use for 11 days if you really want to dismount the merry-go-round. This is a fantastically powerful way to do that. I am offering a mentor program also right now for just a few folks at a time to participate in one-on-one for 12 weeks over a live Zoom call. It can be a lot of fun and a lot of clarity, a lot of alchemy to transform your life with. I do consulting on the phone as well as some really impactful energy healing sessions. You can find the info on my website. But until next podcast, may your newfound frontiers be made of gold. Many blessings.